Next, we are taking soil pollution. What is soil pollution? It is defined as the buildup of persistent toxic compounds, chemicals, salts, radioactive materials, or disease-causing agents in soils which have adverse effect on the plant's growth and animals' health. That is, the soil is contaminated with undesirable substances which are harmful for animals as well as human beings. Pesticides and herbicides can cause soil pollution. Hence, there is need for their judicious use or minimum use. Pesticides. Pesticides are those chemicals which are used to kill pests. DDT was used to maximum extent to control the damages caused by insects, rodents, weeds, and various crop diseases. However, due to adverse effect, that is, it is non-biodegradable and cause water pollution, its use has been banned in India. Pesticides are basically synthetic toxic chemicals with ecological repercussions. Their repeated use of same or similar pesticides give rise to pests that are resistant to that group of pesticides, thus making the pesticides ineffective. And most of them are non-biodegradable. They persist in water, chemical, or soil, and through the crops they reach our body. And insect resistance of DDT increased, and other toxins like aldrin and tealdrin were introduced in the market by pesticide industry. As I have told you that most of them are insoluble and non-biodegradable, and they highly persist in the soil and transfer from lower trophic level to higher trophic level through food chain. Over the time, the concentration of toxin in higher animals reach a level which causes serious metabolic and physiological disorder. From molecular level, they reach aquatic plant, aquatic to small fish to large fish, and then larger fish and largest fish, and then it reaches human being. That is how it comes to human beings. The pesticide industry has shifted its attention to herbicides like sodium chlorate, which is a strong oxidizing agent, and sodium arsenite, which is also poison because it contains arsenic, and many others. These are also not environmental friendly. Most herbicides are toxic to mammals but are not as persistent as organochlorides. These chemicals decompose in few months. Like organochlorides, these too become concentrated in the food web. Some herbicides cause birth defects. Studies show that corn fields sprayed with herbicides are more prone to insect attack and plant diseases than fields that are weeded manually. Industrial waste. Industrial solid wastes are also sorted out as biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Biodegradable wastes are generated from cotton mills, food processing units, paper mills, and textile industry. Non-biodegradable wastes are generated by thermal power plants which produce fly ash. In Badarpur power plant, a lot of fly ash is produced. Integrated iron and steel plants which produce blast furnace slag, steel melting slag. Industries manufacturing aluminium, zinc, and copper produce mud and tailings. Fertilizer industry also produce a lot of waste, including gypsum. Hazardous wastes such as inflammables, composite explosives, or highly reactive substances are produced by industries dealing with metals, chemicals, drugs, and medicines, dyes, pesticides, rubber goods, etc. The disposal of non-biodegradable industrial solid waste, if not done in proper and suitable method, it may cause serious problem to the environment. New innovations have led to the different uses of waste materials. Nowadays, fly ash and slag from the steel industry are utilized by cement industry. Fly ash is used as cement substitute, and it has found to be quite suitable. Large quantity of toxic wastes are usually destroyed by controlled incineration, whereas small quantities are burnt along with the factory garbage in the open bins. Waste management. Solid waste is not only waste which you see in your household garbage box. Beside household waste, there is large amount of medical, agricultural, industrial, and mining waste. Their improper disposal of waste is one of the major causes of environmental pollution or environmental degradation. Collection and disposal is very important task. Domestic waste are collected in small bins which are then transferred to community bins by private or municipal workers. From these community bins, these are collected and carried to the disposable site. at that site garbage is sorted out. And these days even collection is also done in two types of bins. One is green, in which biodegradable waste is used, and other one is red, in which it is recyclable waste is collected. Non-biodegradable materials such as plastic, glass, metal scraps, etc. are sent for recycling. Biodegradable waste are deposited in landfills and converted into compost, which is used for agriculture and kitchen gardens. The poor management causes health problems leading to epidemics due to contamination of groundwater, and waterborne diseases are spreading up due to this reason. It is especially hazardous for those who are in direct contact with the waste, such as rag pickers, the workers involved in waste disposal. These rag pickers help us a lot in disposing of a lot of waste, which otherwise will create a problem, but they are having constant danger to their health, as they are the ones who handle waste material mostly without protective device such as gloves or waterproof boots or gas masks. And you must have heard that in sewage pipes many times the death occurs those who use clean them, and reason is because they don't use the gas mask properly. Next we have causes of soil pollution. Deforestation is the major cause of soil pollution, soil erosion as well as soil pollution, because the trees are being cut used for paper industry and other industries, and urbanization also has led to deforestation. So where in soil erosion, soil particles are dislodged and carried away by water or wind. As a result, the soil loses its structure as well as important nutrients which are naturally found in it. Polluted water discharged from the factories cause soil pollution. Runoff from the pollutants, that is paint, chemicals, rotting chemical, organic material leaching out of landfills. Oil and petroleum leaks from the vehicles washed off the road by rain into surroundings. In ocean also there is a lot of oil leakage. Acid rain, fumes from the industrial cause acid rain, which mix up with drinking water or river water and cause water pollution, which reaches the soil and causes soil pollution. Over application of pesticides and fertilizer, chemical fertilizer runoff from the farms and crops cause soil pollution. Purposeful injection into groundwater as a disposal method also cause soil pollution. Septic tank seepage, lagoon seepage, sanitary hazards, landfill seepage causes soil pollution. Effects of soil pollution. Pollution runs off into rivers and kills the fishes, plants and other aquatic lives. Crops and fodder grown on polluted soil may pass on to pollutants to the consumers, because these days the vegetables and plants grown near Yamuna, which is highly polluted, causes this pass on these pollutants to the consumers. Soil structure is damaged, clay ionic structure impaired. May release vapors and hydrocarbons into building and cause corrosion of foundation as well as pipelines. Contaminated soil decreases soil fertility and hence there is decrease in crop yield. When soil pollution modifies the soil structure, death of many beneficial soil organisms, like for example earthworms in the soil, could take place, which make the soil fertile. People living near polluted land tend to have higher incidence of migraines, nausea, fatigue, skin disorder, and even miscarriages. Control of soil pollution is extremely important. 3R must be taken care of: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Unwanted items or non-biodegradable items. The less rubbish we create, the less chance the waste will end up in our soil. Make use of organic fertilizer and organic pesticides because they are usually made up of natural substances, so they are biodegradable and will not persist in the soil for a long time. Insist on buying natural and organic food because chemical pesticides and fertilizer are not used in the growing process. They are more health and eco-friendly. Cut down the usage of paper or use recycled paper because cutting of trees will lead to soil pollution. Next, we take green chemistry. Green chemistry deals with all the existing knowledge, principles of chemistry and processes to reduce the adverse effect on the environment. The waste generation and its disposal both are economically unsound. Utilization of existing knowledge base for reducing the chemical hazards along with the development activities is the foundation of green chemistry. These days, green buildings, green homes are being made. Although cost is slightly higher, but they reduce lot of pollution, water harvesting is one of the steps which will help in preserving the groundwater. Organic solvents such as benzene, toluene, carbon tetrachloride are highly toxic. One should be careful while using them. In chemical reactions, if the reactants are fully converted into useful environmental friendly products by using environmental friendly medium, then there will be no chemical pollutants introduced in the atmosphere, and that is the basic principle of green chemistry. During a synthesis, care must be taken to choose the starting materials that can be converted into end products with the yield approximately up to 100%. These days, some processes have been devised in which the percentage of yield is quite higher. For example, if instead of burning the fossil fuels, we make use of fuel cell made up of hydrogen and oxygen, their efficiency is high up to 70% and they do not create pollution. Similarly, if hydrogen is used as a fuel, pollution will be reduced or will be zero because only water vapors will be formed. It may be worthwhile to carry out synthetic reaction in aqueous medium since water has high specific heat and low volatility. Water is cost effective, non-inflammable and devoid of any carcinogenic effects, that is cancer causing effect. So water should be used as a medium of chemical processes instead of organic solvent. Green chemistry in day-to-day life, how we can use for dry cleaning. Normally we use Vestron tetrachloroethene as a solvent. That was used earlier. Now we have changed. Why we have changed? Because this mixed with groundwater and it is suspected carcinogenic substance. Now we are using liquefied carbon dioxide and coupled with a synthetic detergents. Replacement of the halogenated solvent by CO2 will result in less harm to groundwater because liquid water, this CO2 will not harm the water to any considerable extent. Bleaching of paper, earlier we were using chlorine gas as a bleaching agent. Nowadays we have found hydrogen peroxide as a suitable catalyst as a bleaching agent. It makes use of very less amount of water and also saves lot of water which was used in chlorine bleaching. Chlorine is much more harmful to the clothes than hydrogen peroxide. Synthesis of chemicals. Ethanol acetaldehyde is now commercially prepared by OXO process, Wacker process, CH2 double bond CH2 plus water and oxygen. If we do it in the presence of platinum plus 2 and copper plus 2 ions in aqueous solution, the acetaldehyde formed is having 90% yield and it is carried out in aqueous medium. Therefore, it creates minimum pollution and maximum yield, which is the basic principle of green chemistry.